What is up, everyone? Welcome to Mechs on Deck. It is Tuesday, December 1st. How you
Welcome
doing,
to
Chewy?
December. Good, man. Stomach issues aside, I'm doing all right, man. It's maybe the stomach issues is because we've got a little spice tonight. A little added spice on top of that dinner I had.
Absolutely. What'd you eat for dinner?
We had ramen and it was delicious.
Ooh, fancy.
Homemade ramen we made ramen. It's great because when you make ramen, we usually make enough broth for 2 meals. And when you freeze the broth and then reheat it up, it usually gets better because you've taken some water out, so it's a little more concentrated. That's like, oof.
Nice.
It's delish. What about you?
I had some pasta with buffalo sausage.
Ooh, fancy.
It was
D decline, thank you.
Ramen.
Now I have to order ramen. There you go. Thank you for the 10 months, man. Thank you for the 10 months. If you guys don't know who DD Decline is, click his name, check out his channel. He has awesome content. But yeah, it was a good weekend. It was kind of a weekend off. It was the tail end of Thanksgiving. Any Black Friday pickups?
Well, we got some stuff to try out. Don't have it yet, but we picked up I think it was 4 packs of Glorious Holy Pandas, which I'm pretty excited to try out.
Glorious Pandas.
Glorious Pandas. Whatever.
Take that holy out.
Glorious Pandas.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
The Glorious Tactile Switch. Yeah, I'm excited to try them. I've heard really good things from multiple people about them, and I'm actually really excited to mess around with them and see how they are, and then see kind of how they stack up to the Zycos and the Iron. And then what did you get, Chewy?
We also bought, a bunch of us here in Dallas bought just an ungodly amount of springs. Sprangs, as Taru said. I put I think that it was 15 packs of springs in total across everyone. I got 4. So if you guys didn't see the springs, which I swear by the Novel Keys springs, the only springs I use outside of Novel Keys are the 78-gram Zeal springs that you have to get from getting 78-gram Zeal switch. I don't recommend getting the springs that way. That's a bit pricey. But so we got a bunch of springs, and then we didn't really talk about this, but the Holy Panda, or the Yak Panda, is back in 5-pen form. I need to pick some up. But so yeah, it's been those are back. So I got some 74-gram springs because I'll probably be making more Holy Pandas soon for a couple different things. I wanted to put 74 grams in the Glorious Pandas as well because I think they're like 60 or 65 or something normally, and I'm like, not heavy enough for me. And then I was
oh, go ahead.
And then I was pretty quick. I didn't even realize until like an hour and a half before, but my wife's been looking for a good keycap set, especially since now we haven't seen it in person, but the pictures of PBT Pastel Rainbow were not as advertised. So we were looking for another good set, and Analog Dreams went up. And so I was like, all right, well, we got to make this decision in the next 10 minutes. So I was able to get Analog Dreams. I got those fast F5s and got in line. I was actually worried because they even said you're in line. I was like, oh shit. It's funny because I just haven't gotten for anything that's been super quick on the draw. So I got fortunate enough to get that, and then we sold Tokyo Nights to kind of cover that. And I was like, that's a pretty solid trade.
Yeah, dude, that's a little 1 in, 1 out kind of vibes going there. Yeah, I'm excited to see Analog Dreams. The more I look at that set, the more I'm like, man, that thing's great. The other one that I'm excited to see is Future Funk whenever that decides to ship. I think that set could look pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't pick up anything else. I thought about some things and then I was like, nah, I don't really want to get more. I've got a lot of things that I've purchased in the last couple of months. So, and I'm trying to like save to buy a car too. So that's kind of like
No, that helps. Cars are nice.
Bueno
So,
Builds. What up? How was your evening?
where's the best place to buy keyboard cables? Boy, howdy, Zap Cables. Zap Cables, in our opinion, we're partnered with them. We don't receive money. I just if you're wondering, that's what the partner is. There's no code, there's no link. We don't receive money. These are just people that are our friends and our personal beliefs that these Zap cables are the best. That's nothing against the other cable makers. A lot of the cable makers out there are fantastic cable makers, but Zap has been consistently fantastic. If you are looking at other people, Lux Cables, he does kind of if you're looking for something a little more custom to like the keycap set, he does really good stuff there. So you can check him out as well.
And Kazan, we love Mechanisk. It's just the partners are people that we've like worked with on things. So, or like we regularly work with. So like Zap, we work with a ton. Like when we do giveaways, a lot of times he'll supply something for that. Same thing with Type Beast and then Smith and Rune as well, which we gave away a group buy slot for the Iron 180 a few weeks back. So Mechanisk, we would love to add Mechanisk to the list.
I mean, I'm a huge. I love Mechanisk. Mechanisk, if you're listening, PM Chewy.
Yeah, we absolutely would love Mechanisk, but yeah, the partners and then our of course sponsors, which we'll hear more from later. Switchmod.net/Mechs on deck, which we're gonna talk a little bit about set that they're running here soon. Dixie Mech, Project Keyboard, and Canon Keys. Those are the ones where when you use those links, we do get a small kickback from it. So we appreciate any and every time y'all click those and buy something because it helps us continue to do things and do more fun things.
And we like doing things.
We do.
we enjoy the things and the stuff. So, Osiris, did you get any mail today?
I did not. I didn't. I don't think I did. Did I?
We've got mail
No.
coming.
We got mail coming.
Yeah, there he is. Why don't we start with what is on your desk? Because I've got a pretty fucking cool mail day.
Well, yes, you do. So, what is on my desk? Old Faithful, the Baca 60, Cerakoted in OD green with GMK olive. Looks great, feels great, sounds great. A little bit lighter than my my iron that I've been using at work. I got the iron 165 at work, and I'm just switched to this earlier today. And dude, I feel like I say it every time I put this board down. I'm like, oh, this is so nice. Are you missing screws? No, they're just very far back in there. You can't really see them.
They're deep. They're nice and they're in there. I promise.
Yeah, they're in there. They're just in there deep. But yeah, love this board. It's got lilacs on it. The lilac tactiles, basically T1. Feels great. It's a nice light tactility. It's a refreshing change going from the Zycos, which kind of like punch you in the face, to this, which is a little bit softer.
Yep, lilac tiles, absolutely. Also, man, if you lost some springs or some screws on that board, it'd be a shame. You'd really have to look long and hard to find someone who's got literally 70 of those sitting in a bag in his closet right there.
Yeah, I don't even know where I would get some. But that's it for me. What is on your desk, and what mail did you get?
So I'll go with desk first. I said it last week, and I was like, this isn't leaving. The key colt with Ursa looks beautiful. I'll probably swap it out tonight. With most likely for the crown. I've been missing the crown, but GMK Ursa looks amazing on it. It's got Zycos on a brass plate. This is probably my favorite board to type on. This and the Baca are just awesome. It sounds fantastic. It's key colt, right? It's gonna be good. Like it's gonna be good. But mail day. So I got some cool stuff. So Jack Attack actually threw this in our market thing, and I was like, oh shit, like that looks dope. Um, so I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. For those who don't know, if you couldn't tell by the title, if you couldn't tell by my name, I'm a big fan of Star Wars, big fan of the Mandalorian as well. And Jack Attack was selling these Mandalorian keycaps. Um, so it's just a really cool. It kind of it looks like it can take on like a brown or a dark gray. So it's kind of a unique color. It's kind of going after that Mandalorian armor feel. So I haven't put it on a board yet. It's probably going to go on my my OSA because that's where the Space Goblin is. I figured, might as well put those two together. So I got that. Let me put this up real quick because I got some cool. I technically this isn't my mail. So this week's build, I need to put in our announcements because I put it TBD because I was like, it's in the mail, but I don't like I don't like making the 100% announcement that I'm going to be building this unless I have it in hands. We got something from SM Keyboards, so I'm a huge fan of SM Keyboards. I've got this one, no caps on it right at the moment, but I'm waiting on some screws. I'm kind of re-putting that together. But my wife has been wanting a 65% for a hot minute. She's got the Bauer, but she wanted something different because she's got a couple different sets of caps coming in, lots of different artisans. Slowly getting her into the hobby more and more each day. And so I talked many months ago. This was kind of teased on his Instagram. I talked about, hey, would it be cool if each layer, my wife loves rainbows, if each layer was rainbow. And so this board, here's the side, is kind of a reverse rainbow. So this is a 65%. It's a standard. What's really cool is it's got these little side cutouts now, which I'm really digging the side cutouts. I think that's done. Come on, hide my face. That's done really well. It gives it that little extra bit. I think the rainbow looks fantastic. It's even got like iridescent screws. So everything about this is just rainbow-tastic. I would love like OG GMK rainbow. I think that would just be the most
like, the most extra rainbow possible.
Rainbow. And then the coolest little part too is my wife also likes unicorns. So it's got a little silhouette of a unicorn on there on the back, just for a little, personalization. I don't know how many times he's offering this. I will say that I definitely used the fact that I am good friends with him as a like, hey, let's do this. I did pay for this. This was not free. I think the friends and family was the fact that he went through the trouble of putting these pieces together in multiple colors. But I'm really excited. This will be built Saturday with Holy Pandas. I think it's going to sound fantastic in this board, and I'm really excited. I know she's sitting here like, why can't you build it right now? I'm like, well, I don't have the switches lubed, and it was going to be for content,
but content.
But I know she's very thrilled with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks great. I'm excited for it. That'll be a fun one on Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Time. So come hang out with Chewy and watch him put that thing together because it's going to be kind of a one of a kind.
Absolutely. So, well, we've got quite a lot to talk about. We've got keyboard of the week stuff, keyboard of the year, keyboard of the week /year, talking at the end of the stream tonight. So stick around for that, and we'll give you more details. Voting will start tonight, but we'll go into further details. Which one do you want to cover first? Do we want to go after the title, or do we want to go after the other interesting fact that happened this past week?
Let's go over the other interesting fact that happened this past week.
Hell yeah. So if you guys did not see, it was something that we have not seen in the hobby yet. An esports team, Team Liquid, They have I don't know exactly how many teams. I know they have CS:GO. I know they've got League of Legends. I'm sure they have a lot of other esports that I just don't know about. Um, and are they in like the streamer groups too? I know that some
Yeah.
esports, yeah.
Yeah, they've got some stream team going.
So it is a North American company, and so we have a set themed after Team Liquid, which we just haven't seen before, where a brand comes in. You know, we've seen the Dixie X, and people will talk all day long about whether the Dixie X belongs on certain sets or not, or whatever. But this is like actual branding that was done in the right way. Correct. You know, the team. This was obviously through team. This would be like such an easy lawsuit. They were doing this without Team Liquid's approval. But yeah, it's the first time we've seen kind of actual branding.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. This is a space that I'm like super like familiar with in terms of like esports. I've done some work with different Overwatch League teams, and uh different teams here in Dallas. There's a couple, mainly Team Envy, who's the ownership group of the Dallas Fuel and the Team Empire. Um, this is really cool. I've actually tried to make this happen for different organizations, which is funny because I didn't expect like Team Liquid of all things. I didn't expect to do this. Not that they're not popular; they are an extremely popular North American organization. They have a you know super popular League of Legends team, super popular Counter Strike team, um, and they were really good at Dota 2 for a while. So yeah, they've kind of been in all the heavy hitters over the past couple years, and it's really cool to see something like this. I wish the compatibility was a little bit better, but it's one of those things. This is really not for us in a sense. It's really more for the normies who are big fans of um, Team Liquid. But I will say I do enjoy the price. It's $79.99 for the base kit. I think is pretty fair. I
Yeah,
think did they had some. Excuse me. They had some that were in stock before, right?
I think they released them in stock on Black Friday. There was a limited supply on Black Friday that you could get, and then I guess now they're doing the pre-order. I could be wrong on that. Don't quote me. Um, so this is. I think this is great. I think this is because here's the thing: if you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. Right? That's that. Right from the get go. I'm not going to buy this. I don't care about Team Liquid. Like I know I used to follow them when I followed Counter Strike a lot, but like this doesn't do anything for me. But I do like this because this can start driving more people into the hobby, and that's the important thing here. I think it's a pretty standard looking set. It's pretty. I'm a little. I guess they wanted the logo to pop more, so the mod colored space bar throws me off a smidge. Um, from a design standpoint, I think that's the only thing that I'm seeing where I'm like, like that's a little goofy, but like you said, this is meant for your Corsairs. This is meant for your Razors. Well, I don't know what Razor has that weird bottom row, but this is meant for box boards, and it'll cover most things. You've got a nice little array of row one novelty keys. So that's nice to see a couple different options at enter, and you got your split shift. Split shift is a very nice addition. Um, so good, nice to see. Only thing I'm kind of missing is like on the split shift, you don't get that 1U, but I guess they're going for like the 65%, but it's a little
Yeah.
goofy. It's a little goofy. Like I feel like they could have added 3 or 4 keys to really maximize their potential on what they can do it. But once again, I see no problem of them doing this.
Yeah, I don't either. I agree with chat talking about 65, 75%. I wish that they added all the novelties and they're all row one. And then like half of the pictures that are on here are on a 65% where they use the novelties. It's like would you like how much would you have had to add to the price, or how much would you like lose by just adding 3 more like keys to it, you
Mhm.
know? Like even if they're just novelties, like just adding those 3 keys would be huge to add compatibility, and I think would have increased the marketability of the set considerably, especially with things like Ducky releasing 65% that have been doing really, really well. I know a lot of people are running 60% with the standard bottom row, the 6.25. But you know what? It's one of those things. It's like if you're into Team Liquid enough to buy this, you're not gonna care.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna care. So
Which that I mean, I'm sure there are people that are like super hyped on this. I don't even as a Counter Strike fan, I don't know if I would even go as far as to like. I was a huge Cloud9 fan,
yeah.
uh, especially whenever they were. And I don't even think back then I would be like, hell yeah, let's get a Cloud9 key set so I can have my Cloud9 keyboard. Like, I never thought um that would never really be anything on my radar. But this is for a specific person. This is I'm interested to see what else they do, right? This opens up a lot of doors of, and maybe not open up doors, but it can broaden the community to broader horizons, right? You can bring in more people. We've seen stuff like this before, like with the Star Wars kits that Novel Keys have ran with Boba Fett and the DSA Galactic Empire, I think is the name.
Hmm.
Stash, what's up, man? Hope you're doing all right. So, like, that was, that's in Scrabble with Hasbro. I know that's an old set, but this is the first time we've seen in a while. That's kind of a big company, not Star Wars big, but like, something like this where it's like, oh, okay, well, what about other teams? And then maybe we might have other companies. And, what if it kind of goes, well, what happens if like, you know, GMMK decides to start going, hey, let's make an Infinity set that can go with our kit, and it's GMMK branded. So
Yeah. No, and I think it opens some cool opportunities too for like because one of the things I was like, man, this would have been way cooler if like it was released around the time like when something big happened for like Team Liquid, like when they won the international a couple years ago, or like if Cloud9 went back when they won the major, then when they won the Boston major, and they're the first North American team to win a major in CS:GO. Like I feel like doing this around that time would have been really cool because I know, like, for me personally, I would have been way more like motivated to actually purchase this or purchase
mhm.
something like this around that time. Um, but it definitely opens doors to do something like that. Like if they could do themed around, like if Team Liquid wins, or if this gets, say it does get into other teams, like 100 Thieves or um, Envy or other organizations, and then they can do like themed releases around uh, like the accomplishments of their teams. I think that would be really cool, and could be a cool way to kind of get some people involved in the community. It would put the Key.co on their radar and possibly get them into some other brands as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like you said at the beginning, $80. Like the fact that they got, I mean, it's not a huge base kit, so that's why they're able to keep it nice and low, but that's not much, right? That's, when you're talking about key sets in general and you're like, I'm going to build this key set, and when you typically you're kind of pointing people to this set or this set, or that you might be spending $50, but it might not be like the greatest. And I've heard very good things about the QC on this because they're going to take their time on this, right? Team Liquid's not going to put their branding on something bad. We have not had the best track record with Infinity. Um, so I think they're going to probably, as we kind of talked about as well, money talks, right? They're Team Liquid's not. They're going to definitely have their hand in and go, hey, this needs to be up to our standards if you're going to sell it. Team Liquid is not going to be thrilled if their set comes in and the colors are fucked up and caps are unusable because now their names on it, right? It's a
Mhm.
box, it's a giant box with Team Liquid's logo on it. Like that should say that it's probably going to be a pretty good set.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And that was the one thing that I was like scared about is like we've had so many issues with Infinity recently, and what are they going to do to prevent that from happening? What are they going to do to prevent an in key from being the wrong row with this set? Because it's not going to go over well, and it's a while Team Liquid is a relatively small company in the grand scheme of things, they're nowhere near Star Wars or Hasbro or any of the other companies that have done like licensed sets with the community. In a sense, this is Team Liquid reaching out about this. It was not just, hey, Lucas Arts, can we do this? Yeah, it's this much money. Okay. And then they just let you go with it. This is Team Liquid having a say in it, putting their branding on it, putting their name on it, and being involved and promoting it. So
Yeah.
hopefully it does well. Hopefully it's solid. If it's not, that's going to really suck for those people who buy it. But I think they're taking some extra time with it because it does have a significantly longer ship date than what we've seen with recent Infinity sets, shipping all
Hmm.
the way in June. I think that's probably to
It's for the
do,
best.
yeah, to do better QC. So
That's for the best. Also, they really should start pushing those dates back because maybe this is something that we've seen. We've been kind of and not just us, but the community's been saying like, get your shit together. These QC problems. So maybe they're starting to go, hey, if we put a further ship date, these sets will sell. We're not gonna see this huge increase if the set ships 2 months earlier because people would rather. I think 95% of people would rather get the set usable and in good shape and what they ordered rather than 2 months early and fucked up. So
yeah, and Eon, I get what you're saying, but the thing is if someone does notice, they're gonna go to Team Liquid to complain. They're not gonna go to the key company more than likely because they see Team Liquid on it and they're gonna be like, what the hell? And it's gonna cause backlash to Team Liquid rather than to the key company. If it's just random people who aren't in the hobby. So it's one of those things where Team Liquid is somewhat taking a risk by doing this in a sense. But the key company has to make sure, hey, these have to be QC'd high in order to not have issues.
yeah, I mean it's like we see it all the time with if a key set doesn't do well or if a key set has a problem, people go yell at the designer, and it's like you're yelling at you're barking up the wrong tree. Like that's not their problem. So, but yeah, all in all, well done TKC for the good job on getting that locked down, and best of luck. We hope that if we come across as anti TKC, we want them to succeed so that they don't piss everybody else off, right? Like I I have my personal reasons of not ordering from Infinity because I haven't gotten an Infinity set. Um, if Infinity was anywhere else, I wouldn't be buying from Infinity anyway until I've talked to a lot of people until we see that you know repetition of good quality products with no problems coming out. Then I'll go, okay, you've reinstalled my trust in Infinity, but until then, I'm kind of like, I'm just push. I'm not really buying that many key sets anyway around anymore anyway. But yeah. So,
Yeah.
but let's move in to the topic. Um, Rolling back a few years, a set called Muted came out. It was a huge hit. It's very similar to 9009. It's kind of like OG, if the original Dolch and modern Dolch, 9009 and Muted are kind of that. It's a cooler version. They've taken a lot of the warm whites and warm grays and put in cooler grays and cooler whites into Muted. And so, and it was a fantastic set because it's it's one of those sets that goes with everything, right? You don't have uh there's not a whole lot of like awkwardness when it comes to what the set how the set will look on a board. It's going to look fine. It's gonna, the only thing you might not be able to pull it off with maybe is like a really intense red board. But even then, I'm sure it would look fine. It came out with some accents, which I'll give my soapbox about the accents later. But came out with some accent caps. People love the blue and purple accent caps. It did come out with the 9009 accents as well. Originally run on oh man,
Key clack.
Key Clack. Key Clack, who is J Chan, I believe is his name.
J Chan
Uh,
94.
J Chan 94, who is not as much in the hobby anymore. Key Clack used to be pretty big. So for the longest time, he was never really interested in running it, and there's a with GMK and other things, if you have to get permission. If the person doesn't want to run it again, no one else can run it, right? You have to have permission. And so this is where things get kind of tricky because people really want to run this set again. We saw a set like Modern Dolch Light come out that was very similar, but it was technically different. And at the end of the day, because it's different, they were able to run it. But people wanted muted, right? And so people wanted muted so much that we got two of them.
Yeah. Well, and I want to talk a little bit about the J Chan stuff, if and why muted 2 happening is important, and I guess we can get into muted 2, which I can show now. Muted 2 was announced on yesterday.
On yesterday.
And it has full support from J-Chan. So if you're not familiar with what J-Chan has run on, ran on Key Clack, he ran a bunch of different sets that people were really into. He ran the original M65A group buy, which had some mixed things, as well as some SA sets that people really miss. And then, of course, Muted, which people have been begging for the last like 2.5 years. And it's finally back with his approval, running over on switchmod.net in January. And there are some changes, which we'll talk about in a minute. But I'm excited to see it. I'm glad that it's happening.
Yeah, it's one of those sets. What's up, Lee Turk? It's one of those sets that is a modern classic, right? It is hard to obtain. I actually own Muted for quite some time. But it's if for every it was a huge base kit. The first base kit for Muted was gigantic. There were so many freaking. It actually was annoying because so they gave you mod colored F1 through 4 and 9 through 12. So you're sitting there with 20 F keys, and I'm like trying to pull the stuff out for a 60%. So it just was like a nightmare trying to get these caps out. Huge base kit. Standing on my small soapbox, I've talked to Eric about this, and I've talked about this in our Discord a bunch. We always talked about how renders don't necessarily match the final product. If you go back and look at pictures versus now, they've rendered it better, but boy, howdy, do the blue and purple accents nothing like the
renders. No, the green and pink, not bad. Blue and bad. Purple, oh my god, it's bad.
It's like dark purple versus like faded lavender. Like it's super off. The blue's rough. And this is a case, whenever we talk about keycaps matching the renders, which we're bound to eventually in the next year, I guarantee you we'll have an episode around about how some keycaps screwed up. But it's just funny that like this is arguably one of the worst mess ups in regards to both, but the finished product looked so good that no one cared.
Yeah.
And I know Eric's big on if the finished product looks good, and this is we have to judge off the finished product, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, who cares if people like it? If people get it and they like it, it's fine. If you don't like it, Muted was a set that sold for an insane amount on the aftermarket because there wasn't a ton of them out there. At the time, it felt like there was a ton out when it first, like, started shipping, and you could actually buy it on, KeyClack for, like, a year. Um,
There, I was like, oh shit, you can buy this. All right, sweet, click. Like,
yeah, but, crazy it was a crazy set for the money, 155 keys for $125 for that entire base kit. Also, there's some questions in chat about row 5. Row 5 is just like the next step in the gradual curve of the cherry profile. So row 5 would be, if you were to get the row 5 kit from Muted 2, it would be slightly more curved than row 4. But yeah, I'm excited. I think this is great. I think it's amazing for the community. I want to get into some things that are different that I'm not as stoked for. That I don't know if they're gonna be, if it's 100% set in stone. It says kits are subject to change, and I think they probably will change. I think it's more of like a meme thing right now, and they'll probably change before it runs. And that is two things that are very obviously missing on the base kit of Muted 2. Uh, Mod colored pipe key and mod colored tilde, which we have a base kit that has, let's see, 7 different options to go into the caps lock space. But we can't have two options for the tilde and pipe key.
yeah, it's an interesting decision. We talked about this before the show. We've talked about this a lot amongst ourselves as well, and it just kind of it brings to the table of, why are you not doing it, right? Like, it seems simple when you're at now. If they had taken out, let's say they're only running 2 shifts, right? You're stepped in your regular. If you see something like that where they're only running those 2 shifts, and it's like, okay, I see what you're doing. You're going for minimal. You're wanting to run a full. Uh, you want to run the numpad in the base kit, but you're trying to minimize costs. 100%, I get that, but it's not offered in any other extra kits, which for me, that's something where I'm like, I use one of those keys. I am upset that I don't. That if I were to get this, I would not have one of these. Would I survive? Yeah, I'd survive. At the end of the day, you can find something else to throw on there. It's not the end of the world, but it does kind of go, if you're giving options here, but no options there, it begs a few questions of like, why? Like, what was the
Yeah.
decision behind this?
I mean, it's one of those things. I feel like this conversation right now, and if this picks up, and it's going to be very similar to the removing ISO support from the base kit and putting it with the numpad. It's like almost completely identical. If it's like, well, some people use it, but not everyone, right? And it's going to be one of those things. It's kind of up to the vendor, up to the designer. Um, I mean, I'm not. I'm mad that it's not present at all. I wouldn't be upset if it was in like another kit, like if they just randomly threw it in row 5 kit and it was just in there, or like in one of the other kits that they're running, or in space bars or something. Like, that would be fine to me, but I think you need to have it available. Um, it is. I think it's a joke. In all honesty, I think it's a joke. I think it will come. Uh, they'll come around and put it in there. But they might not, and I don't know. I mean, it's up to the runners. They have every right to put in keys that they want to put in and take out keys that they don't. We've seen other things where it's like, this vendor runs this specific layout and he puts his own um keys in the base kit that make sense to him but don't make sense to like 90% of the community. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think the reason, so as a personal thing to this, to me, I'm like, because the other key that I completely forgot to in here, F13 key. We
Yeah.
even have an F13 key. But the thing that slightly bothers me, and it's fine. It's the fact that this was not originally designed by the people running it currently. So I'm curious to know if these decisions were made with Jay Chan, or if Jay Chan said, "I don't care what you do with it." Because let's talk about two things that I do really, really like. Three things actually. I'm sorry. We got the purse, so hell yeah, because some purse keys have been taken out. I was upset when Dixie took out the purse key on Burgundy.
Burgundy.
Burgundy. I was not happy that he took the purse key out. I'm happy that they got rid of the box X backspace, split backspace, and replaced it with an arrow. Fuck yeah! Like, thank you. And I'm happy that they got rid of the Alt GR. I was not thrilled. I was never a big fan of the Alt GR. On that. So there are a lot of changes that I do like. I don't want to sit here and say like, oh, fuck this set, this is dumb. Like, no, it's solid because they did fix a lot of things. I also like that, if you already have muted, you can get row 5 now on it. You can just go, well, I don't have I've been looking for these accent kits forever. And I'd love to have a row 5 on it. So now you have the option to just go in and grab 2 things without having to touch the base kit. And now you've got a completely different, set of muted.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some people will probably be upset that it's all split out instead of being a giant base kit like it was before. I'm okay with it. Isn't that way you don't have to get things, you don't have to get the international kit if you don't need it. You don't have to get the like 9009 accents if you don't want them. You can just get the blue and purple, or cyan and purple, to be correct. You can also, I think someone in chat said, and I was not aware of this, but apparently Nathan said he's going to be rerunning Mr. Sleeves. So you can get Mr. Sleeves and just get the base and be done and have that combo, which was kind of a match made in heaven, especially back when you look at 2018, 2019. That was like the jam, that and minimal with Mr. Sleeves.
Looked real clean.
So yeah, and I'm 100% with you. I don't care about purse, but I'm not upset that it's like still there. Like, that's not for me. I'm not a fan of it, but I
Give me that purse
could
key.
take it or leave it. I will say I would rather have mod colored pipe key and tilde over the 2 purse caps.
Yeah, if I had to
But
choose between purse caps and mod colored tilde alpha and pipe, honestly, I don't care about the pipe key. I know because you and I are both split backspace users, so the pipe key is not the one that personally I care about. It's the tilde.
yeah,
And I would sacrifice. It would be a tough sacrifice, but I would sacrifice the purse key for the tilde. What are some options? Throw an artisan on there. If you're, because
yeah,
what's this? It's for the 60%, the 65. I mean, it goes on. You can find a way to fix that spot.
just run split
So
backspace and then
yeah,
you're
exactly.
fine.
Boom. So someone asked, what do I have against Alt GR? It's the symmetry thing. That's literally it.
Yeah,
It's just the fact that I want symmetry across the bottom row. So I'm happy it's running again. It's always good. The set's going to sell extremely well. I'm happy that this is coming back because I don't like seeing keycap sets kind of like, I really want Terminal to run and I really want Coniferous to run again. Coniferous tried to run again and failed. Um, I don't like seeing key sets die because of 2 things. One, some of these key sets are great, but people, the community just wasn't big enough to realize how great it was. And 2, it creates scarcity, which creates higher prices. So I'm glad that this is running again. But the title is not muted to twice the muted, double the muted, because of just one set of muted.
we got muted retro, which I'm not gonna lie, if you know I am I am more peeved. I won't say upset because I don't think that's the right term, but more peeved,
Annoyed.
annoyed with the fact that this is happening than anything that is happening in terms of like missing keys or anything from Muted 2, because this is just a I don't know, it seems like a take to try to capitalize on Muted. Obviously, the people over at Oko would have had no idea that Jay Chan was working with um, Switchmod and allowing Switchmod and Oblatsky to run Muted again. Oko probably had the plans to do this quite some time ago, but they say it's a soft modern take on classic retro, working with the essence of the original classic retro set. This set will use colors with a slightly more gray tone to give it a clean modern feel rather than a vintage look. And I'm just like, come on, you're literally trying to do Muted with Mr. Sleeves, but instead of doing icon, you're just doing text. And I'm like,
It's a cash grab.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
cash grab. Like, I have never, like, to me with Oko, it's like that meme of John Hamm from Mad Men. He's like, I haven't thought of it. He's like, I don't think about you at all. Like, he's like, I think very little of you. And he's like, I don't think about you at all. That's how I feel about Oko. I'm like, man, Oko exists, right? Like, every now and then a set comes out on Oko, and I'm like, okay. But you know what I think of Oko is stop running fucking hyperfuse. Like, I don't need 9 different versions of hyperfuse being run. You've run the hyperfuse origins 3 separate times, and they're all different. You've run 2 other hyperfuse versions of it, and it's I Honeywell exists, right? They are there. They're not going anywhere, clearly, because they're able to do some of these like pre-ordered sets where it's like, this is gonna go. It doesn't matter. They're just gonna buy it. I think this set will sell really well. I think that the text mods fam will really enjoy this. And it's kind of like, I kind of want the Mr. Sleeves look, and if I don't care about the text mods, then screw it. Like, I'll just go for this. And it's a huge base kit. Do you get everything? No, but it's a huge base kit.
Yeah, and Pharma in chat says that at least they have decent kitting. And I'm like, yeah, I see that. And I see the point there. But I'm also like, part of me is like, am I in support of the people who did this correctly? Like, in terms of, like, if we were talking from a standpoint that would be in terms of legalities, right? And say if you ran a set, you had ownership over that set. And if someone tried to run it, it would be illegal. This would be deemed illegal, not on 1 count, but on 2, because it's muted. And then they just took Mr. Sleeves. And it's like, Switchmod and Oblatsky went out of their way and tried to contact Jay Chan and successfully did that and got the permission to fully run Muted. Whereas Oko is just like, fuck it, we're just doing this. And much like when you look at a set like Modern Dolch Light, right? Similar colorway, similar style of set, but they didn't call it Muted. They just called it something different. They could have done this and it wouldn't have been as much of an issue to me if they didn't call it Muted. Because it's just like when we talked a couple weeks ago about PBT sets trying to capitalize on the name value, the fake PBTs of the name value of the GMK sets. This is the same thing. It's just another GMK set. I'm actually very surprised that GMK would run this.
GMK no sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it brings that question up. It's like, are we upset? Grayscale happened, but no one cared about Grayscale because 1, it wasn't GMK, and 2, it didn't say Muted. But Grayscale was, I had Grayscale and Muted, and I could literally use them interchangeably if I wanted to, and I did, because I put the alts. I put the bottom row, except for the space bar, was Grayscale because it literally didn't look the same. It felt slightly different, but it was the same. But it wasn't called EPBT Muted. It was called EPBT Grayscale. So this set, while also looking at the set, I'm like, I think the set's going to come out way warmer. That gray, I think, is going to be a little bit warmer. Now, I don't know if they've announced the colors or if they're all custom, but I think that set's going to come out a little closer to like a 9009 than it is going to on versus muted. I do like, we've seen one, trying to give pluses to everyone. The kitting on this is better than we've seen on Oko. The kitting
True.
on this is a lot better than we've seen. And then here's the real question: is we've been throwing shade a little bit here, left and right, at everything we've talked about. I would have nothing if muted didn't have if added those two keys. I would have nothing against muted. I'd be like,
Muted
okay, you're
too.
running muted too. I would just, it's like, cool, it's muted too. Go get it. Like, have fun. It's just weird that they didn't add those, but like, I don't have anything. Yeah, I'm curious to know how this conversation would be going if I had literally nothing wrong. There was nothing wrong with that. If they added those two keys, where I go, okay, well, you're running it. I might have a little more animosity towards muted retro. I do think I agree with you. I think the fact that you went and called it muted is where you start running into the problem of like, well, you're calling it muted because why? Like,
Yeah.
if you can't say if you like, what is the answer beyond, well, we wanted it to get money? Like, you couldn't have thought of any other name for this set than muted.
Dude, they're just trying to capitalize on the search engine optimization of GMK and muted in the same sentence, right? They're trying to get people to where when they search GMK muted, this comes up. I mean, obviously that could, I mean, I'm sure that they thought about that, but it maybe not. But I could be wrong. But I would assume that that is their plan with this. It is definitely tactical. You know, I'm interested to see if this is one of those sets because typically Oko buys a certain amount and then they only sell that. Like it's already pre-bought. It's not an actual group buy. And I'm wondering if this is an actual group buy with the intent of trying to sell as many as possible.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. It doesn't say. It says pre-orders. Maybe it's just like it was before, where with all their other sets where they just buy like 700, or the newsletter said 250 unit limit. Okay, well then cool.
There you go.
I feel like it's less of a money grab there. With that being said, if it was fully open, I think I would have even more of an issue with it. But yeah, I don't know. It sucks when you see stuff like this when they very easily could have gone out. Just go get permission. Just ask or
Yeah.
change the name.
Yeah.
Like
Change the name.
like
That's all you have to do.
people
We've
give.
seen a lot of key sets be relatively similar. Change the name. A killer theme will always help reinforce a set's differentiation from another. So just, there are things you can do, right?
Yeah, I'll take this as a question. Mentorly, people always give crap to Mentorly about Bliss being like Olivia. Well, uh, sh-
There it is.
she talked to Olivia before it ran. Like they had a conversation. It was cool. It was chill. Also, Starstone says it was a 250 limit for the Cyber Monday discount. It's an open group buy. Okay, now I'm back on the money grab point.
Now I'm back to being angry.
Well, it's just like, come on, man. You like the thing too is yeah, I could understand just like stealing something from J Chan, like because J Chan, he's gone, right? Like just going and snagging that and running his sets. I'm not as upset about that with this one. I think, well, I am too. I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I'm just, why? Just name it something different. Name it something different.
It's that's interesting. That
Oop.
I don't. I mean, with Oko's just such a weird site to begin with that it's not. It's like kind of iffy on like, well, is this in stock? Was this? They don't have two separate website or two separate pages where it's something that's like in stock versus something that's not in stock. So, um, like Oko's always been something. Like I said, Oko's always been something that just kind of exists, right? Like it doesn't do anything. None of their sets have really been like. I mean, Hyperfuse Origins is great, but then they ran it into the ground. Like Hyperfuse Origins was solid until and when GMK came out with the Hyperfuse Origins, it was like this is what GMK's was supposed to be, and it was supposed to look like the SA one. It's like great, and then they ran it 4 more times. I was like, we don't need this this many times. Like Hyperfuse, I think was super popular in 2018, and now just no one cares as much, like nearly as much about it.
Well, it's not hype. And I
Mhm.
feel like even then, actually wondering how well will Muted do. Will it do well because of the name, and it has that value? But I don't know. I also want to point out, dude, I just saw this. Why the hell do they still have a disclaimer saying that the Kale box switches are compatible, but with a high chance of stretching slash cracking stems? We're past that. That's not a thing anymore. It hasn't been a thing for like a year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years. I don't even remember exactly when Boxgate was, but what the hell? Why are they still saying that? That's misinformation there. Come
I
on.
mean, we don't see Oko doesn't pop up most of the time, right? This is probably the first time we've talked about Oko since I don't know, mentioning it every now and then, like that's where a set came from. Like other than that, um, so yeah, I mean, I don't. They exist. If you want to support them, support them. If you want to get one of these two muted kits, and honestly, I think the muted two looks better. I think muted looks better with icon mods. Um, icon mods above the bottom row. I think it just looks better, and I think you don't that red and blue. I think they're like trying to they're trying to go for sleeves. So then again, you're also kind of screwing over Teja by going after this. Like like I remember a couple of people were like, "Dude, did you know the OSA keycaps?" I'm like, that was Nathan Kim was there for that. Like he's sponsored by Novel Keys. Like that was a thing that they worked on together. Um, I don't. I like what they have brought Mewtwo back to Switch Mod. They've brought Mewtwo back into the modern age. They've got the split backspace, the extra B key, and that kit's nice to see. I would have liked to see a little more accents. I think it would have been cooler to see some purple and purple escape at enter and some cayenne space and or cayenne space bar. It would have been cool if they had kind of brought that up a little bit, added a little extra. I thought would have been nice. But other than that, I mean, I think it's great that they're running this. I think that they could, add like 2 keys and make everybody happier.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they could just add it. Also, yeah, it's cyan, not cayenne. Cayenne
I
is a
say
pepper.
I say cayenne all the time, man. These glasses are cayenne.
Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think he might. I think it might have been a bit of a meme. Who knows? We'll see. Only time will tell. If you've been in the community for a while and you know Krellbit, he is known to uh to meme around a bit. So
Absolutely. So, moving on, we've got some keyboard of the week stuff to talk about. We are not running keyboard of the week right now. So, what I'm about to do, if you go to our let's talk about what it is. Let's go through everything before I release the Discord page. We have quite a few keyboard of the weeks because we've been doing this for about half a year. I think we have 23 entries, if I remember counting correctly. Um, So the Sky is 256K. We're actually, for the rest of the year, we're not going to be doing keyboard of the week because we're going to be doing keyboard of the year. So we've taken all the winners' photos and we're putting them in a channel in the Discord that will be visible here in just a moment. So how it's going? This is the first of 5 Tuesdays this month. Each Tuesday we'll be voting down to get down to a final two, and of course a winner. We do have some really cool prizes that we have officially squared away um, for first and second place. But we have to get to 16 first to make it a nice even bracket, right? So what we're going to be doing is on Discord, I've went through and I've given everybody a preliminary upvote on the Discord pictures. So I'm going to release that now on, so everyone, well, if I hit save, you won't be able to write anything, but you can go in and you can hit those upvotes for the reactions. You can react to it in any other way, but the one that we're going to be counting is the upvote. Thank you, Jinly Bean, by the way, for this idea. So go through, if you like, you can like all of them. You can like one. The top 16 boards are going to be picked from this to move into that's going to move into the bracket. So go in, start voting. So I'm sure DD Decline's already gone up. Generally being voted for the DD Decline board with Wasabi, but these were not put in any particular order. I just kind of threw them in. I did not want to seem biased, although the first 3 pictures are all Ergo boards. So go through, vote, take your time. We will announce the winners this weekend. So we got plenty of time. We'll make an announcement on Discord. Let's go through some of our prizes, Mr. Osiris.
Ooh, yeah.
We've got a cool one for first place.
So I'll do we want to go second place first and then do first place. All right. So second place, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chewy, it's a free custom cable from the man, the myth, the beast, Mr. John from Zap Cables. Pretty cool. Is it what are the limitations on that, Mr.
No
Chewy?
limo. That's it.
No limo. Ooh,
No
so you
limo.
can get
you can get your split aviator. You can get we might even be able to talk him into getting you 2 different ends. I'm sure he'd be down with that. And you get to pick it. You get to pick exactly what you want, and he'll build it for you. I'm sure the limit would be like maybe don't get like a 40-foot cable. I don't know why you would want it. But and you're able to get the exact quote. You don't have to worry about building it. He's going to build it for you. So it's going to be built really, really well. Osiris and I both are able to make cables, but Osiris and I both use cables built by Zap Cables because they are fantastic. So second place is going to get that. We haven't decided on a third place because we don't know if we're going to actually do a third and fourth that day. But first place, do you want to do first place or do you want me to?
You do first place. Go for it.
So first place, we're going to give you a plaque. It'll be a really cool little, keyboard of the year, keyboard of Mechs on Decks, keyboard of the week, keyboard of the year for the memes. So I was speaking with Dixie and I came up with this idea. Sometimes people like key sets, right? But you don't, if we gave away like 8008, some people might not like that, right? It's like, oh, cool. But then you're encouraged to flip. And we don't want people flipping prizes. So I figured, who would be pissed off 12 times in a row? So as the winner of the keyboard of the year, the winner will get to a free base kit that is run by Dixie in the year 2021. So he will most likely run at a minimum. If this is anything like last year, it'll run at a minimum 12 kits from Dixie. So I think we've seen like 14 though, because he's had a few double ups. So we figured it's like unless you're just like the most picky human being in the world, a base kit, can severe, that's to me, that's looking at something where I'm like, sweet, now I got a base kit. Now I can get some of these sweet, other kits, right? You don't have to worry about that, or you just get yourself a free base kit. So pretty cool first place prize. So get your votes in. Once again, this is not We're not making any final decisions, but you know, we can go through. We can go. Why don't we go through and show them off tonight? We can talk
Ooh.
about it again. That'd be. We got a little extra time. We could talk about. I don't remember who a lot of these people's are, but if it's yours, shout it out. I remember who a lot of these are, but a lot of them I don't.
Give me a second. I gotta get it set up
Fueger's
again.
prize.
I'm not.
Thank you. You know, well, I'll go through our awesome sponsors while Cyrus gets everything set up. You can go to switchmod.net/Mechs on deck for 4% off of your order. Be on the lookout for Muted 2. It should be running next month. They have not finalized dates, but we'll let you know. So be sure to check that out. You can go to mechsondeck.dixiemech.com. Pick up GMK Think Caps right now. Fantastic looking set for a nice kind of vintagey look from the 90s. Solid sit there as well as they also got some desk mats and stuff like that. And then 8008 2 or 80,082, whichever you want to call it, coming out soon. Those new blue accent keys. So be on the lookout for that. You can go to Project Keyboards. You can go to projectkeyboards.com. Well, okay, that's the other link. mechsondeck.project.link. Be on the lookout. I know he's going to be having a set soon. He also does pre-orders every now and then, so be sure to just check that site when you can. And then Cannon Keys, you can go to cannonkeys.com/mechsondeck. GMK Pink on Navy running right now alongside GMK Hall U. Those Hall U desk mats are fantastic. That Pink on Navy desk mat is fire. That is, I am a sucker for, very repetitive kind of plaid design. I am a fan of that desk mat. They've also got the Lilac Linear Switch is in stock now, the keyboard carrying case. A lot of cool stuff on Cannon Keys right now. So be sure to check all that out.
Absolutely. Well, we've got it all set up and ready to go. And first up is Mr. DD Decline's, I don't remember exactly which Alice clone, or not clone, that's not the right word, style board this is, but it does have GMK Wasabi, some beautiful underglow happening. Yeah, this looks great. Praxis, boom.
I love it. Wasabi, I just wish it didn't have sub legends. I'd love Wasabi. I think it's a fantastic looking set. I think the theme of this board is fantastic. I love it. I love when a board can kind of follow a theme. So great looking set. Great looking board. Next up, another Alice style board. I think this one was Switch Couture, if I'm not mistaken. It's got GMK Violet on Cream with an artisan on the function key. I love the purple on this really shines out. I think Violet on Cream's a solid looking fucking set. I know. Violet on Cream's on here at least 2 or 3 times.
On here a couple times, yeah.
I think it might be one of the most liked sets on here. So yeah, just solid board.
This one is Bueno Builds LZ Physics with GMK DMG. This was the most recent winner of Keyboard of the Week, and I must say, I love the theme. I love the actual Game Boy in the picture. I think it gives it a leg up that maybe isn't apparent in a lot of other pictures. It doesn't have the accessory. Yeah, I think it looks great.
Yeah, speaking of accessory, I know this is Mr. Starstone. This Alf X3 or is X2?
I don't remember.
I don't remember, but an Alf board with GMK Hyperfuse with a lot of accessories. Lots of accessories. This is a man that can get things done with style and fashion. And is gusto the right word? Is that the word I'm thinking of? Not gusto.
Yeah, that is applicable to this situation. This is a fantastic night. You know, you got some champagne, you got a nice cigar, you got a fantastic keyboard, you got some music equipment. That little thing that's above the glass, that thing's really annoying to play with if you're literally any other person in the room except for the person playing with it. We used to sell those at Guitar Center when I worked there. But yeah, this is a cool setup. I remember when he posted this. This is one of our early winners.
Yeah. Uh, what do we got next?
Next up,
It's
oh,
a bad board.
yeah, this is a
A bad.
candy bar, violet on cream, lots of bad lucks, all of the bad lucks.
Yeah, it's lots of bad lucks. I love what you've done with the bad lucks. I love, candy bar is such a cool board. Um, with a 40s with a numpad just is so like is hilarious to me. Um, I think it's fantastic. Next up, we've got the Dolch CR with I believe that's GMK Phosphorus if I'm remembering correctly.
It is, in
Uh,
fact, that.
great looking combo. I love the picture with like the angels. Like that's another fantastic. I love the pictures that are like set pieces, right? They're like these cool little it points for adding some extra ness in the picture.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks great. Next up, this is the Gin Split uh, Ortho, I believe, would be
Yeah,
the correct terminology for the type of board. Pretty insane. This thing looks awesome. Some fantastic, very large knobs on there, as well as a very large screens. Yeah, screen and knob ratio to keycap ratio is top
fan-
tier.
next up, we've got the Fox Lab Key 65. Fantastic looking set. I'm going blank on the name of this set.
GMK Delta.
GMK Delta, thank you. So I will sorry, I think you know what? I've just received a PM that I did in fact leave a board off the list, so I will make sure to add that here in just a moment. Um but yeah, this is such a clean looking set and such a clean the fact that it matches so beautifully with the inlay is fantastic.
Yeah, they did a great job, and I think I know exactly which one.
It is. It's the Austin.
Yeah, the cafe.
Yep. I guess it just didn't import properly, but we'll get that in there.
No worry. Yeah, we'll get it.
Uh
We'll get it in there and taken care
that
of.
was like 3 days ago.
Yeah.
That was like 3 weeks ago.
Next
Um
up,
so
this one. Oh,
Scott W, my apologies. And yeah, this one, I don't remember what it was.
yeah, I have no idea. I don't remember the name of it. It's oh no, I have it. I had it saved for the picture. It's the Mindset M1002. I think is exactly what this is. If I save the picture name correctly. Um, yeah, this is like a vintage board. Pretty interesting. Very long space bar. Good luck
Mhm.
finding a replacement for that if you ever break that for whatever reason or somehow lose your spacebar key. That's going to be a rough one to find.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, we've got the Satisfaction 70, or sorry, not Satisfaction 75. This is the E75, the by exclusive. With Mizu threw me off, but it's very clean build. The E75 is a fantastic board by exclusive. Um, this was released right. This was right before the bubble inflated massively. This board sold fine, but I think if it had waited like 3 months, it would have probably doubled, if not tripled.
Yeah. It was also before the community shunned PVD. So it has a PVD
Yeah.
weight, which is kind of a pain in the ass on this board.
Mhm.
Because it just gets scratched like crazy. And it's not like while it's okay, it's decent PVD. It's not the greatest. It still has some of that machining marks. Not quite as bad as something like the Xeno, but still a pretty freaking cool looking board. It also has the uh the 7.5E that you see on the side there, lights up in all crazy different colors and is full RGB, which is pretty freaking cool. I actually built one of these a long time ago, and it was a fun build and a cool board.
Mhm.
Next up, we've got a Prime E, and I believe this is a P3D case. I don't remember the name of the keycap set, but this looks great.
Yeah, it's I believe this is I want to say this is DD Decline as well.
I think it's
Um
actually Static Age.
or Static Age. Okay. I know, but I know DD Decline loves the Prime E board. I think he said that on that it's one of his favorites.
Whoa,
Well,
13
13
months?
months, Commander Bear.
Question
Welcome,
mark,
welcome. Thank you. It's
exclamation
been a
mark.
hot minute. It's been a hot minute since you started subbing. But yeah, it's a really really cool looking board. I love the kind of feel of it. That's great with the background, the matte. I love that. Just it has a vintagey feel to it.
And
So it's a TEX ADA.
that's the keycap set.
Oh, keycap set. Okay. Next up is I believe this was the Rama U80.
Yep.
Rama U80 with First Love on it. This is a solid board. I remember seeing this on Reddit and loving it. It's just clean, right? This is I think I said it was like this is a board that I'd be happy that this was the last board I ever used, as long as it had like good switches in it.
Yeah, it looks great. And next up, we have a Reborn 60 with GMK Bingsu. This was the winner the first week Bingsu came out, and yeah, I mean Bingsu looks great. It looks great on a lot of different color boards. Yeah, I really really love Bingsu. Reborn 60, a board not a lot of people have or have tried. I feel like it's hasn't been quite as popular and hasn't had the same kind of um, historical significance as other 60s, um, but it's still a solid board.
Yeah. Next up, a board I'm very familiar with. This is the Fiel round 4. Sarah coded in white. GMK dots. This is our awesome friend Jinly Bean with some awesome artisans on there on the board as well as in the picture. Very clean. This is another where the picture sells it, right? And it's dots is such a cool looking board. It's busy, but it looks super clean. Like I love this one.
Also on her desk mat. So
Yeah, on her
interesting.
desk mat. So it's fantastic.
Next up, this is a Satisfaction 75 with GMK waves with the like electrocuted wood with resin inlay wrist rest. Pretty freaking cool looking. Little matchy there. Looks great. You know, waves accents are such a cool accent kit with the music theme that it carries. I like the way this looks.
Yeah. But it pales in comparison to the next board. The next board, the award-winning the Wazowski. I love it. The Wazowski 2319. I mean, it's this. It's the Wazowski 2319. This board is hilarious. And just yes.
Yeah. This is definitely interesting, and I think this might be the winner, um, just based on the craziness of it. Uh, next up, this is I think it's the Uni 660, if I remember correctly. But
This
it's
was the
this.
first one that won, I think. This is the very first keyboard of the week winner.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it looks like it's got this is I don't think this is oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name.
Kuroshiro.
I don't think it's Kuroshiro. I think it's the
It
is it
is
EKBT Kuroshiro or is it one of the other ones?
DD, is this your board?
No, I don't think it's his board. I can't remember whose it was. But yeah, this thing looks cool. It looks really cool. Oh, this one is his. Interesting. I didn't even know that.
Well,
Multiple
fantastic
winner.
multiple dude. The multi winner. He and Gawk, I think, are on here twice. So next up, we've got the Violet on Cream with the mono alpha kit, the mod colored alpha kit, on a Lin Whale. Fantastic board. We've been fortunate enough to try whales, and they're great. And I mean, it's just it's all purple. It's
Yeah.
just it's solid.
This is from
Someday it
fellow
will work.
keyboard streamer Max F. Go check him out. Twitch.tv/Max F Live.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, this is one from Gawk. I've always loved this board. I don't remember the name of it at all, but it just looks like a stealth bomber plane, or Batman, one of the two. But a split board, or not split, but an ergo board. This is the one that's like actually angled, for a little more ergonomic design. GMK white on black on there as well. Just looks clean. This just looks fucking clean.
Yeah, totally looks great. Next up, one of my personal favorites. I believe this is a Fiel.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a
this is
Fiel.
the black veil with nines.
Fiel with GMK 9s. Got some Odyssey LCD 2s in there. This is a mechanical head pins. Picture at its best with the pin being a Sharpie. Yeah, this looks great. It's a great photo, and I just like the way that it's staged. I think like from a photo standpoint, this is actually one of my favorites.
Yeah, yeah. Next up, we've got this is an SM Keyboards. I think this is SM Keyboards board,
Hmm.
with Metropolis on it. I just like to call this the SM60. Metropolis, love the artisans on it. I mean, everything matches well. It's got, the stand on there. This is very, very cool board. I know that he really, really likes it too. So it gets love.
Absolutely. And next up, this is a Bauer with the cyan bottom with GMK 9009 round 3. Yeah, looks great. The Bauer is great. I have a Bauer and I love it. It's probably my most used board, if not second, behind the Iron. So, yeah.
Yeah. And lastly, the one that I forgot to put on there, but make sure if you do like this is the Austin. This is the round 2 in white, GMK Cafe on it. Osiris has built one of these in white on the round 2. Solid looking board. Sorry that when I moved the file, I think there were 2 of them in our original Google Drive, and I think I was like, okay, don't hit that one. And then I got to it again later, and I was like, okay, don't hit that one. So I
Oh,
just
yeah.
didn't put them all in. So my apologies to Mr. Scott W. So those are your entries. So yeah, these are we're going to be squeezing this down to 16 entries, and next week we'll have a larger segment that will be voting for to get from 16 to 8.
Yeah, we're going to do it a little shootout style. I guess we'll have to figure out how we're going to seed them. I
I
guess we'll
think the
seed them
seeds will
great on
probably be
votes.
the upvotes will be the seeds.
Yeah.
Uh,
So
and
Wazowski is going to be number 1.
it's I believe it is currently in the lead, as it's the only board that has double digits. So I'll be making posts about this in the Discord as well, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. So this will be up, and then Saturday, either Saturday or Sunday, we'll take it. We'll mark them down, and we'll we'll make an announcement. We can make a little graphic of the bracket and get everything set. But other than that, what do we got going on this week?
Yeah, so tomorrow we will be joined by Miss Stray Roma, aka Courtney, fellow keyboard streamer. She could come hang out with us. We're gonna talk about keyboards, talk about video games. I'm sure. Talk about food. Apparently, she really enjoys different like teas and coffee, so should be interesting as well. Yeah, she seems super nice. I've been watching her stream every once in a while the last couple of weeks. And yeah, I'm really excited to have her on. Should be a good conversation. And then what are you doing on Saturday at 2 p.m.?
I'm going to show it off one more time. I am building an SM Keyboards stacked acrylic rainbow board with all the fun. We're going to talk to him. We might change this up so it's not just so blindingly red. Might do something clear, or maybe even go for a double rainbow, like go the other way again. So it kind of meets at red and then goes the other way. I think that would be cool. This will have some holy pandas in it, and I think for the time being, GMK muted. And if it gets here, it should get here in time. But Analog Dreams, I'll probably unbox it there. I mean, we've seen it before, but it'll be fun. I don't think it would work on this board. I think this is a little too primary for the muted colors. But yeah, so that'll be Saturday at 2 p.m.
Nice. Should be a lot
Can
of
we
fun.
Can we get Abracadaniel to solder like one switch on her board? Hee hee.
Ooh.
Maybe that's up to her. The pressure. So, who are we gonna raid? You got anybody in mind?
Ooh, let me look at my my Twitch, see if anyone see who's live. I don't have anyone.
Don't have anyone. Well, let's see. Data Dave, you know Data Dave, right? Is that the one? Or I don't remember if that was the one that you know.
I do not, but I think we rated him before
Yes.
when he was playing Among Us.
Non-Keeb person is typically Tuesday.
Monday.
If not, then we just raid.
Or Tuesday.
We'll just raid someone in the community.
We can go someone new in keyboards. Someone with like low keyboards. Let me hunt makers and crafting to find someone
We
that's
got
like
Ramen Champ Builds. I have no idea who that is. He's got 300 viewers.
he got rated by the Teha himself.
We can just continue the love for this guy.
Well, I kind of want to go someone that's like got like low viewers, you know?
We got Bow Boards with 11 viewers. Mini Kuma Bear. No idea who that is.
Let's do bow boards. That's good. Get him some loving.
Spread the love.
XQC is streaming. He's new. Dude, he is. He just got back from his ban.
When does voting end for Keeb of the Year? So this voting will end at the end of the week. I'll make an announcement of when it votes. It'll be towards the end of the week. This is to get into the this will be to get into the bracket. So the top 16 boards from this selection will be in a bracket, and then we will vote live on stream for who gets who's going to move forward in the tournament. And the tournament will end the last day. The championship will be the 29th. So get your votes out.
Yeah. Well,
so other than that, we will thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow with Miss Stray Chroma. Cyrus, you have a good one. Bye, Switch Tester.